you doing, everyone? It's Billy Kirkwood here. I hope you're good. Sorry, we're going to find a better way of just not me jumping in and scaring the absolute fuck out of you. Sorry, it's going to be bad language at this point. How you doing? Welcome to Braw Cast. It's Monday night. We're trying out this new time of 8 o'clock. I tell you what, before we kick off, let us know what you think. Is 8 o'clock a good time, or should we stick it at 9, or should we do it even later? Midnight. It's up to you guys. Let us know in the comments. Before we kick off, let us know who's watching tonight and where you're watching from. We've got a brilliant guest. Don't forget, you can check out everything that's going on at brawbeard.com. We've got Ian in. How you doing, Ian? We've got Sam Sellers as well, all the way from Yorkshire, it looks like tonight. So we've got our first squad in. It's great to hear from you all. Don't forget, we've got a brilliant guest, so make sure to get your questions in. Keep them coming thick and fast. Hit them up in the comments. Yes, Colin, we are on early tonight. We're trying out 8 o'clock. What do you think? Is it a good time? Is it a terrible time? If it's this use, oh my God, is that a state of me? Sorry, I did yoga before I did this. I'm that guy. At this point, I realise I kind of look like Billy Connolly if you bottom off Wish. So, not my best. Right, we've got a brilliant guest. We're going to talk a little bit more in just a wee while. But we're going to say hi to everyone, first of all. Sam, hello. Ian, hello. Colin, hello. Grant Dixon from Edinburgh, get in. And, of course, CJ Baker as well. Thup! We're going to say hi to more and more of you guys. And it looks like we're getting a quite squad in. So, I'm very excited to bring on our guest because I've already had a pretty decent... well, actually, it looks like we've got a fair squad in from Edinburgh tonight, which is good. Our guest tonight, ladies and gentlemen, we're very excited to bring on. He's a competitive beardsman, and also he is a Brawbassador, if that is still such a thing. Let's see. Loads of people saying 8 o'clock is good. Watching from the BMW and the Rotunda car park, wee boy stuck in the toilet, and NKYTP. All right, is you the guy that drew in the... Anyway, we'll come back to that in a wee while. Let's get on our guest. I'm very excited to have him on. And yes, I do not have any train of thought this time of night. Please welcome our special guest, Lewis Munky Aylmer. How you doing, Lewis? Oh, you are quiet. Let me just unmute you. There we go. How are you, mate?
Is it all good now?
Yeah, you're good. Sorry. We're already getting a hard time because we're coming on way too early, and I think some folk haven't started drinking yet. How are you, man? How's things down in Hull?
Yeah, I'm good. Yeah, it's all good down here. Just a bit wet.
Just about, mate. It's absolutely... It's a Scottish expression. I'm sure you've got your own. It's honking weather up here. It's absolutely stinking terrible. How has lockdown been for you, mate, before we get into any? I know things are loosening off down in England a wee bit. They're still a wee bit tight up here in Scotland. How is things down in Hull?
To be honest, with the lockdown, it didn't really make much difference to me. Right. I actually only got 3 weeks furlough. It flew by. Got a few things done around the house. Then straight back to work and never looked back. It just seemed all the way through.
What is the day job? What is the day job?
The only difference made was competitions.
Yeah. There's been no competitions at all. But you know something? They'll be back very soon. It's only a matter of time. Now that the gyms are open and the ballet studios are open, which is what I read today. So I tell you what, worst case scenario, we'll all get tights on and we'll all get in the ballet studio and we'll just have a competition in the middle of it. That'll be good fun. Right, before we go on, just very quickly, if you do have any questions for Lewis or you do have any shout-outs you want to have in broadcast, hit us up in the comments. We've already had a couple of people saying hello. Sam saying hello to you, mate. Will be good to hear from the Yorkshire Beardsman show pony. Lewis is a great bloke. So, man, I don't think I've got to say, Sam, your tash is looking bloody amazing, man. It's looking bloody amazing in that photo. And of course, he's got a Braw Beard snapback on. Do you know Sam at all?
Yeah, I do know Sam. He's part of our Yorkshire Beardsman's Club. Great guy.
Well, we'll get on for that in a minute. It's right. So before we crack on, man, are you from Hull originally? Is that right?
Yeah, born and raised.
Oh, good man. And what was it like growing up there?
In the area I'm in, was pretty rough at times. But yeah, I wouldn't change it.
Yeah, exactly.
So
makes you who you are. That's it, exactly. Yep. Makes you who you are. Remember where you come from. That's what they always say, isn't it? So what was it you were into sort of growing up and that type of thing? I mean, I know obviously we'll get to that glorious beast on your face in just a wee while. But what was it you were into growing up?
To be honest, growing up, I was one of the so-called moshers. in high school and growing up. I had long hair all the way down to the bottom of my back.
Right.
Actually, already going on the growing facial hair from around about 12 because I was an early bloomer.
12?
Yeah, started coming through, just a bit of bum fluff.
Holy oh yeah. Do you know the number of times people have asked where's the first place on your face a beard grows? For some reason, I had this random line of hair right there on my. It's the weirdest thing, right there on my neck. So you started growing a beard at 12. Were you like this is a weird question to ask? Were you like the first kind of kid in your group to start growing beard? To start growing?
I was probably the first one in the whole high school to do that.
Oh my God. Even some of the teachers were looking at you going, how has this kid got a beard?
Yeah. But by the time I'd left high school, I had a 4.5-inch goatee.
Holy shit. They must. How many times did you get mistaken for a teacher? How many times?
Actually, one time I had, because I used to wear a Honda leather jacket walking around school. I actually had the head teacher walk up to me thinking I was just a random person in the school, and actually got her to walk me out the front door and then the rest of the school.
That's got to be so how was school today, son? I think I got kind of expelled without actually doing anything, and that's going to be an embarrassing one at parents' night. Actually, do you know Grant's made a good reason with the reason you might have had a beard swell? He said it's all that Yorkshire ale. It's all that Yorkshire ale, mate. That's how my beard was in your system. So you're into Morsha, all that type of thing. At school, what was the plan? What was the plan when you came out? What was the plan when you were leaving? Were you going to go to college or uni, or were you just going to?
Yeah, I went to college. Planned for 2 years because I went into welding fabrication.
Right.
But I actually on the test you do to get through into whichever class you do, I actually skipped the level 1 and went straight into level 2.
Oh, wow.
So I jumped to full level and went straight into that, and I actually completed that in about, I think it was something like 13, 14 weeks. You do about 2.5 days a week.
Yeah.
And past that, just went straight through to a second level GNVQ, I think it was, or something like that.
That's right. Yeah.
Welding and fabrication.
Oh, man, this is so, as well as being like the youngest, but we're probably the youngest person we've had to start growing a beard that we spoke to at any point. I mean, I know it's like it'd be weird if like an 8-year-old turns up with a full beard. Although if John's watching, listen, if it's a category we can get done, and bring your hairiest kids to the next Braw Beard thing. We'll see what we can get going. I've got to ask this question. There are so many people asking this. You had long hair at school, right?
Yep.
Right. We'll have to ask the question. When did this start coming in thick and fast, and when did this start going? Did you just shave this off? I've got to ask that question. Did you just shave this off?
This came off last November when I raised money for Help for Heroes. Raised £210 to shave my head.
Incredible. And do you still have it sounds daft, do you still have a thick mane up there? Or
no, it was receding massively, which kind of pushed me towards it.
You're raising money for a good cause though, mate. You're raising money for a good cause.
Yeah, I've had a few different stints in life. Like when I left college, I didn't get a job straight after. I then joined the Territorial Army, which is Army Reserves now.
Yeah.
I did that for 3 years.
Okay.
Which is when obviously the long hair and the little goatee disappeared.
Yeah, of course.
There are evidence somewhere of this not actually being here.
Oh my God. Well, I haven't managed to find any of those pictures on your Facebook. I had a little look earlier. Actually, as we said, you have some of the coolest pictures I think I've seen, like on your Facebook. For a start, first of all, we've got to go through this. What's going on here, man? This is your love of Vikings.
It is, yeah. That was the first time I dressed up as a Viking to the Scarborough competition, I think it was.
Yeah.
It was an upgrade from a Halloween outfit that I made.
It's pretty bob on.
The fair cloak is actually a throw that I showed my mum I wanted it sewing, and my mum made it up, and it has a huge hood to it.
Oh man, That's got it. I mean, you've got to put that on nicking around Tesco's, surely. Just to the looks, man. Just the looks.
I wore it the first time I actually came to the Braw competition. It was the second Braw competition. I actually wore the full outfit. So, yeah, I did the natural category.
I don't think we've got any pictures of that. I literally don't think we've got any pictures of that. The only other one I seem to find that really caught my eye was this bad boy. Oh, my goodness. What are you doing to us?
4 days. Yeah, he's already been trying to whine at the back door because I had to close the back gate.
Fair enough. Sorry, I feel bad.
He started howling his head off right next to the phone.
Well, you've got the dog, and I've literally got my kids. There's no two ways about it. I do apologise. Losing their shit because they are going for an early shower. Because even though lockdown, oh my God, I swear I'm going to have them spayed. I don't want grandkids. I don't want grandkids. I'm going to have the boys spayed. Right, let's get in about it. You've been through it was the territorial army, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was territorial army. You came out of that. You're back in the working world. Do you think, boom, beard time, or is it just kind of something that happened naturally?
Well, I did a few years where I kept. It was kind of short stubble because my skin was always irritated by shaving right down, and I always had spots and stuff like that because of the shaving. Once I'd come out, I'd gone into a timber factory as well. So it was just sawdust everywhere. Then I think it must have been about 2-3 years where I've not had anything but a bit of stubble. And then I just decided it was during Christmas holidays from work. I just thought, right, you know what? I'm going to grow it back because I miss having something that I can just play about with on my chin. And then it grew it out. Wanted to see how far it'd go. It's been a few different styles because I used to have it into a point. Yeah. And then learning new ways, going through meeting new people in the bearded community and stuff like that. That's how I've got the kind of fuller beard. I used to trim centre pieces out of the tash. Stopped doing that. There's lots of new different ways. So over the 6 years, just over 6 years I've had it now. It's just changed as it's gone along.
I have to say we've already got some love coming from some other of our broad ambassadors. Davey Wallace says that tash, man, fucking epic. He does not mince his words, this Davey, but he's pretty much nailed it, Bob on. That is just tremendous. So you start going into competitions. How did that come about? Because a lot of people that we've spoken to that have even just entered for the first time in the last couple of years, everyone seems to find out about these competitions in a very different way, because we've said it before, men aren't meant to groom their beards and we're not meant to look that way, but it's a very different world in this day and age. And so how did you come about finding out about the competitions or the community itself? How did you sort of get the base knowledge and really start getting involved?
I actually... Back in 2016, I'd heard about competitive bearding, seen photos on Facebook and Instagram and all these sort of things, but never considered actually going to any of them. I'd heard about the Scarborough one, which is sort of close enough to me that I could actually get to one, but never actually got round to going to that one. And then I heard that the British Championships in 2016 was in Liverpool. And I just thought, well, see what it's like, go for a big one. Only planned on actually spectating.
Right.
Went, but decided to compete.
Wow. So was that on the day? Was that on the day or
no, it was about a few weeks before. I finally decided, right, well, just go for it. What's the worst that could happen? Knowing my sort of anxiety of being in front of people can be quite big, like panic attacks, sort of almost standard.
Well, it's naturally intimidating because you're not meant. You're kind of bred not to stand up and go, look at me. It's a very weird thing, particularly when I mean, as much as we're all about body positivity, but you've made a statement. This is how I look, and it'd be only natural to be anxious about that. But did you find, certainly the competition, I can speak for Braw Beard and only tattoo convention, and I think there's a real wave of sort of support and positivity from these competitions, isn't there? From everyone that's attending to actually the folk that are competing as well.
Yeah, it's really helped me, like mentally, like in my confidence, my anxiety, and things like that. Like it's really built it. The more I go to them, the more I actually can open up a bit more.
Yeah,
it's been really good, and just how friendly everybody is at the competitions. It's unbelievable. Like you don't expect it at all. Till you actually go to one. Like you can only tell people how good they are, but until you've actually been there, you don't realize how good it is.
It's just good fun. It's like their own little mini festivals, because it's normally not just obviously the competitive aspect of it. I mean, I can speak for the Braw Beard and Moustache Championships we have up here. I mean, obviously there's a band and there's music and there's food and there's good times. It's a good time to have. So you're getting involved. First of all, I've got to say there is nothing but love for your mustache tonight. There is even more. Peter Murphy, Tash-tastic, Moustache Envy as well from where is it? Robin as well, who doesn't exactly have a bad beard himself. And we just want to say hello to another. We've got people watching from all over the place. John Cleveland saying hi all the way from California. Hello, John. I hope you're very well. Right before so. When you went for your first competition, what happens? What happens? You get up there, you see in front of the judges. How does this go down?
Well, did the usual. You get your measurements and stuff. We walked around. I ended up bumping into just a guy. I think he was from Wessex. Just talking in the queue. Got sat with him, talking to him and things. Comes round to our category, goes up. Usual walk around kind of in front of judges, nervous as hell. Then just straight off the stage again. It's just like it was so kind of quick. You get those few questions and then you straight off again. And I didn't really think much of it. Seeing so many amazing beards, it's such a big competition. I didn't think anything was going to come of it or anything like that. But then managing somehow to come third in that competition was a rocket. Like it just blew my mind. I was just like, how did this even happen?
So it's gone from a bit of fun, something you've got interested in. Oh, I'm gonna enter this for shits and gigs. Let's see what happens, and then boom, you come third. And that's like you say, it's a real boost, and everyone's being so nice. So, are you bitten by the bug? Are you bitten by the bug, thinking, I want to experience this again. I want to do this more.
Yeah, definitely. Like I'd already been approached by the founder of the British Beard Club the night before at the pre-night for Liverpool, and I'd also bumped into Lee BMG of iBeard Club. Yeah. And both great guys. I ended up joining both clubs pretty much the same day after the competition to sort of spread it out there a little bit more. That was actually when my Instagram started up as well. Yes. Because I never had Instagram before that competition.
I was just thinking, and there's me forgetting, despite the fact I made it up. I meant to put that up earlier. I do apologize. Make sure to check him out on Instagram. It's absolutely fantastic. You can see loads more sexy pictures like this one. Check this bad boy out. We've got to come back to this in a little while, and we can see the Yorkshire Beardsman represented on the top hat there as well. We'll certainly come back to that in just a wee bit. Right, we've got to talk about this. You've got your pop figures up there in the background, and I can't see the prints. And I'm always interested in this type of thing. Poor last week. Oh, look at this. What have we got? Is this Star? No, that's Deadpool. Oh, it's Deadpool. Awesome. That's very fucking cool. And right, we've got pop figures.
Yep.
Now, you were talking earlier, just before we came on, we were talking about Vikings, the TV show, which I think are they still making? I don't think they are.
They've got the other half of, I think it's something like the 6th series left to go, and then it's finished.
Oh man, I hate it when series come to the end because I always think like I'm way behind. Like I'm on season 2, I am so far behind. I'll catch. I'll something, but I'll have to break a leg or something to get the time to watch it. But you said you got a whole bunch of pop figures. Do you collect them just for fun, or have you got a whole big? Got a fair little amount there.
I collect like sort of specific ones sort of that I like specifically. So up there, I've got the Vikings ones, and then I've started collecting some of the horror figures.
Cool.
So like any of the main characters from horror films and stuff like that, because I've got a decent collection of horror films.
Oh, lovely, lovely. Well, now I'm definitely interested. A big horror hound. What type of things have you got? Anything particular?
Up there, we've got where is he? Jack Torrance from
Oh, it's very specific. Did you see Doctor Sleep?
Yeah, I've watched that. It's really quite good. I thought it was quite good.
I thought it was
I like the way it was taken from that.
Yeah, I thought it was really good. You might hear the sound of horror. It's literally my kids killing each other in a shower upstairs. I'd like to apologize for that noise. Just in case anybody thinks I'm actually doing this from the set of Hostel tonight, which the first one's good, second one's terrible. Just one man's opinion. But right, so let's get back in. What in terms of, because I'm always interested in what they're interested in when they're away from the competitions. You like your horror movies. Are you a big collector of specific special editions and what have you?
No, not so much. Like I've got a couple of Deadpool comics, but yeah, they were picked up, not first editions or anything. They were just picked up while I went to Florida for a couple of weeks by myself. Absolutely amazing. Yeah, I did all Universal and everything else. Really fun, especially when you're doing it by yourself, because you could do whatever you want when you want. Man,
last time I went to Universal was with the wife's family and a whole bunch of kids. It was awful. It was awful. No, it was great fun, sweetheart. But in terms of getting your involvement with Braw Beard, we've got to come for that. What got you down? What got you up the motorway to Scotland? What brought you to the Braw Beard Moustache Championships? What made that connection?
Well, back in 2016 at the British Championships in Liverpool, I actually bought some Braw products at the stand there.
Right.
It was the chocolate orange butter.
Nice.
I think there was an oil as well, but I can't remember which one it actually was. And from then, it was kind of like the chocolate orange butter is still one of my favorite items of Braw products.
Do you know, if anyone is watching, it is consistently the one that everyone says you have to get it. Is the chocolate orange. It's
I've actually got it on right now.
Oh, there we go. That and Heather. One man's noticed that and Heather are the two ones that keep coming by. But I should say at this point, if you're watching, there are plenty of products over at brawbeard.com. Make sure to check them out, just in case JJ's watching. Right. So did you meet JJ on that day?
I think I did, but as you expect, he was quite busy on the stand and that, so didn't really get talking. The connection was more because it was a new competition coming out. When the first time JJ announced that they were doing a competition up in Glasgow, I really wanted to go, but it was just bad timing for me. So I actually missed the first one.
Okay.
So I kind of focused the following year to actually get up there and do that, because I've been going to Scotland since around about 12, 13 years old. Minimum once a year, because of
now it all makes sense. Now it all makes sense. You came to Scotland, you got a taste for it, you became one of our own, you grew the beard. And I thought I recognised it. You might, Lewis, you're actually my dad. Thank you for coming back. We can finally make this connection. Mum has missed you. So you started coming up to Scotland 12, 13. So you've always liked coming up here. Was it another excuse you get to come up and go, right, I've missed this first one. I'm going to come up and I'm going to experience the Braw Beard.
Yeah, definitely. And then after that first one, it was hooked, because it was easily probably up there as one of the best competitions that are of the year, every year. And that's trying not to be biased as well.
Sorry. We know that there will be other guys watching, but we are the best. I don't know. It's not me saying that. But so you're up here, you're having a bit of fun. When do we start getting into the ambassador thing? Because obviously you've still got this long beard. What roughly? So that would have been 2016, 2017. You came up for the first time. Would that be right? 2017.
No, it'd be 2018.
2018, right? So that's the first time you came up. What length are we at that point? Are we right about where we are now?
I think it was around about this, maybe an inch or so shorter.
Okay.
It don't really grow much longer than this. This is around 8 inches now. It's about my terminal length. I get wispy bits at the end, and that's about it.
That is. But we have to talk about that mustache, sir. My goodness. That is just, I mean, I'll pop the picture up if I can get a second. This is it in all its glory. Would that be it? Do you know what the worst thing is? I nearly said, is that it erect? And that's completely the worst, the worst name. I don't know what we would call that. Would that be it on display? Would that be in its display setting? Would that be what we would say? Yeah. So that's how you present it. That's the word I'm looking for. Is that how it's presented for competition?
It is, yeah.
All right, cool. And so, what got you into that? Would you? Because it was we're really focusing at the mustache. I hate saying this. It's like a centerpiece. Obviously, some people
stand out a lot more.
Yeah. So let's get into some of the maintenance chat, because I think we need to figure that out. There's got to be a lot of work goes into that bad boy, and you've got to look after it. How much maintenance do you need to put into that bad boy?
To be honest, it's only about the same amount as maintenance as for the beard.
Really?
Yeah, like I just basically treat it kind of, I wouldn't say as a separate beard. It's more like whatever I do to my beard, I'll do to the tash afterwards. So it's like one thing into the beard, and then like I'll still put oil into the tash, and I still put balm into the tash and things like that. It's just sort of, I'll do one bit, like, because I normally go under to put my oil in, and then the tash I'll put into the top, so it kind of runs it through.
Cool. So would this be a sort of day-to-day state? Well, what it's just now?
This is definitely how it is, like pretty much every day except for competitions, because the hairspray I use can actually dry the hair out. So try not to do it too often.
Right, you've got to be very careful. Would you have to wear a snood for that when you're out and about, or would you be wearing a face mask?
Oh no, snood all the way.
Snood all the way. Good. Because a number of people have asked that when they've seen this show, and they went, "What do the guys do?" And then John invented the snood, and it's
you just get a kink in here, and it just getting rid of the curl afterwards.
It looks like, it doesn't look right.
Women's underwear in the 70s. That's what it looks like.
The worst thing is, all I can think about is my mum. Is that not terrible? That's all I can think of. Terrible. Sorry, mum. She's not watching. When did you go from coming up and being a participant, if you like, to really making the connection with becoming a Braw ambassador? Because at this point, you're already entering more competitions. You're looking after yourself. You really want to be that competitive beardsman, shall we say? You know, you member of many clubs. You've become a part of the Brawtherhood just really by coming along. But when do you become a Braw ambassador, and what does that mean to you? Because you go from being there, and obviously we get to see at the competitions, to being a model, and that's an odd thing to suddenly be. How did the connection come about? Did John approach you? Did you approach him, or was it just a natural thing?
Actually, John approached me. It was actually the day after 2019 Braw competition.
Right.
I'd actually woke up in the morning from a message from JJ, sort of inquiring whether or not I'd be interested.
Okay.
I was understatement, jumping around the hotel room, butt naked.
Oh, what? That's going to be quite an image.
Yeah.
That's going to be quite an image. And I'm sure there's a website coming soon that people can check.
I was very excited. I was very excited because over the sort of the year before, it was becoming more of a thing of being interested in becoming an ambassador for a decent brand, but I wanted to promote something that was good. And to actually somehow get asked by one of the products that I actually used majority of the time already was unbelievable.
So you're hooked up with Braw Beard. You're delighted. We've heard all about that, thankfully. Well, funnily enough, you should say that you're jumping around your hotel room naked. I've got a picture right here, and no, I don't. We pulled it off CCTV. That's brilliant. That's brilliant. So you've got yourself. You're part of the Braw Beard. How does it feel going and suddenly being modelling? Because I do have. Sorry, I don't know if I've got one of your pictures here. Boom. Check this out. Sexy picture. How does it go about? In fact, your beard's like it is now. Sorry, your tash is like it is now. That is weird because I pulled that picture away and you were pulling the exact same facial expression. that was.
That's just my everyday face.
So, you decided to be a part of the brand. You wanted to wait until the right brand came along. Was that important to you? It had to be because you really had to feel like this is a good product. This is one I use. I like this. That's important to you, yeah?
Yeah, very important. Like I wouldn't want to promote something that I wouldn't use myself onto other people. I wanted something that basically I would use all the time myself to recommend it and be able to sort of back it fully.
Yeah. And if you're going to have your face out there as well, because suddenly you and Lindsay and Davey and Jimmy, so many different names are now out there. They're getting their pictures taken. They're part of the brand. In fact, we've got, I think there's a selection of your pictures kicking about online. You can check over at the Braw Beard Facebook page. I said online like there was that website that we keep talking about. He hasn't got a website, although, mate, if we're all looking for extra money during lockdown, I'm just saying it's going to be, if you're interested, DM, we'll get you hooked up. So you're getting out there. What's the plans for the future then as part of the brand? Obviously, you're going to keep representing Braw Beard, but what's your plan? Because obviously, like you say, things are starting to open up a wee bit. Fingers crossed, we're going to be able to get back into competitions maybe by the end of the year, next year maybe. Is that what you're shooting for?
I think it's most likely going to be next year. Now, I think there's only one competition that hasn't been announced that it's been cancelled yet. So it will be basically Braw next year in February.
Unless it's going to be an online thing, but it just wouldn't be the same.
No, it wouldn't at all. It's the atmosphere that Braw has that it really gives it that extra excitement to the competition side of things. It's not just the competing; it's the whole environment of Braw that's so good.
And although, we've got a couple of questions in terms of beard maintenance. We will get to those in just a second. A couple of people asking, how do we look after this bad boy and keep it looking so nice? I had to ask about this picture. We'll have to make sure that we do another school picture of bald guys with beards this year. Or I should say next year. You've gone for a very specific look here. It's kind of steampunky. Is that something you've gone for? Is that something you do regularly when you go for these competitions, or was it just a bit of fun in the day?
Yeah, that steampunk look, I have about, I think it's 3 or 4 different colours of the same sort of outfit.
Right.
It's certainly my specific look. Like, I do like the steampunk style. And it just became, I did it once and then I really enjoyed the look, and people kind of recognize you for that as well. When I went over to the States to do the national championships, they do take into account the effort you put into your outfit as well, which they don't quite so much in a lot of the UK competitions. So getting noticed and having your own sort of image that you kind of repeat, it's a good way of getting the extra points.
Oh, definitely. Do you know it sounds daft, man, but I dress in a very different way when I'm doing stand up on stage, and I've based that on, of all people, there's a wrestling manager called Jimmy, the Mouth of the South Heart, and he always said, "Dress like a punter, you might as well be a punter," and it always kind of stuck with me. It's like, oh, right, okay, a little bit of theatrics goes a long way, and like you say, they have that over in America. What was it like being a part of the competitions over in America? Was it a very different thing? Were they more like, "Woo, yeah," they're just losing their mind, or?
I won't go as far as losing the man, but yeah, it was very different. Like it was very, it was a lot more competitive, I'd say. Everybody wanted to actually win their category, and with so many categories as well, it was unbelievable. I think there's something like 50 odd categories at the national championships, so it was a long day. Yeah, it was absolutely phenomenal. Like I walked around and there was just everybody was happy enough just to have a talk to you. I met so many great people over there. I've got new friends that are over there now, and it was incredible.
I've got to ask another question about the American guys just a second. Did they like psych themselves up? Did they like psych the beards up? Like, I know that sounds daft, but I went into one competition accidentally in a hotel in Florida. You were talking about being in Orlando, and I walked in on a ventriloquism convention, and I've never been more weirded out in my life. And they were so into it, and I was just wondering. But I think, and I don't want to cast any aspersions if there's any ventriloquist dummy operators in the chat tonight. They're very different creatures. We'll maybe just leave it at that. We've got a couple of questions. First of all, let's get to a couple of those. Peter's got a great one. Let's see. Peter Murphy, of course, if anyone gets an opportunity, check him out. Pirate King. He does Pirate Kitchen every Saturday. And in fact, I think they've got new ones to come and check those out. Big friend of the Brawtherhood. Just 1 second. He says, my beard grows to a certain length and then stalls. How do I get past that? Now, you mentioned that yours you've got it at sort of optimum line.
Yeah.
Was there a bit where it was like, this could do a little more persuasion, or how do you keep it going and keep it healthy?
Over the 6 years, I've actually tried a lot of things, because it got to about this length for about 2 years.
Okay.
So I've tried a few things of the usual things that people say of trimming it back to cut all the dead ends off and then trying to let it grow. But even then, it still goes back to the same place. So everybody has a terminal length. It could be really short, really long, could not even stop. Certain people like Jimmy and Davey seems to just carry on going.
Jimmy, I saw a picture of him just over the weekend, and I think he's literally just going to be an arm. He's literally just going to be arms at the top of it. And this, it's Jimmy. If you're watching tonight, or I know you will watch this back. Oh my goodness! But we're talking about your beard. Do you have to wash it on a regular basis? Because there seems to be sort of different. A lot of people asking that. What's the sort of regular maintenance on your beard then?
Usually I'll use Braw wash 2-3 times a week, depending on how dirty it ends up getting during the week. Like if I'm touching it or anything like that while I'm working. Most of the rest of the time, it's like on a daily basis. I'll wash it through with warm water and then blow dry it afterwards.
Yeah. Oh, cool. So that's so it's just regular and sort of consistent maintenance as opposed to no special tricks.
No. There's not a lot of extra tricks that you really need to do just to keep on top of it. It's just it can be if you've not got the don't know what the word would be, the will to sort of carry it on daily. It is a bit more, so patience. Carry on doing it daily. So once you get into a routine, it's a lot easier. It's what I usually say about people that are trying to grow the tash out. It takes a long time to grow it out. Like I used to do the same thing of trimming the center out. It took over 3 years before I decided to actually let it grow out. So the tash is actually only just over 3 years old. The beard's 6 years old. So,
oh my god! I wonder if there's still any of that 12-year-old bum fluff in there anywhere, or is that will blow away in a high wind. We've got to ask about the nickname. I've got to ask about the nickname because I don't know the story. We've always got Monkey in there.
Yeah.
What's the deal with the nickname Monkey?
That was back being a teen. I used to play basketball.
Right.
And I had the bit of goatee coming through and hair down to about my shoulders.
Okay.
So with all the extra hair, one of the lads on one of our trips to a game, sort of trying to take the piss a little bit, turned around and sort of said, you should get a shave and cut your hair because you're starting to look like a monkey. But then that game, it became the nickname to call me to pass the ball and things like that. And it just stuck with the team. Which at the time, it was a bit like, I don't really like it. But then one of the lads actually was in class with, and he started using it at school. And it kind of spread. From there, it just stuck. And to be honest, now I quite enjoy it.
Oh, there you go.
Well, most people know me as that now.
I have a mate called Dead Arm Dave, right? Because he got a dead arm, got punched right in the arm in like 1994. He is still known as Dead Arm Dave. His kids call him Dead Arm Dave in this day and age. I have no idea why. Awesome, that's an awesome story. Well, look, where can people find you? We've obviously got your Instagram at Bearded Monkey La. Where can else people find you on social media?
To be honest, my Instagram's the main one I use. Facebook, I use every now and again, like for mainly just like the Brawtherhood and a couple of other pages that I follow because they're specifically on Facebook. But my Instagram's definitely the best way to get in contact with me if anybody has any extra questions or anything like that. Or just checking out my page, really. Like,
make sure to check it out. We'll try and post the link in the comments below, and you can check that out and you can get in touch with Lewis. Right, Lewis, all the very best. I'll tell you what, I'm going to pop you back very quickly in the green room, and we'll check out what you're up to on Instagram very soon, and we're going to see you in February. It's going to be cracking. All right, everyone, give it up for Lewis. A big round of applause. Thank you very much. All right, that's all the time we've got for on this episode of Braw Cast. What did you think about the 8 o'clock start time? I can tell you this now. We had a lot of people watching at this time. So is this the new time to put it at? Or do you want it back at 9 o'clock or maybe even later? Let us know in the comments. We'd love to hear from you. Don't forget, check out everything that's going on over at brawbeard.com. Loads of new products going out for the summer. You can get that orange, chocolate orange waxing cream as well. Cream? What am I talking about? There's no such thing. Beard wash, t-shirts, snapbacks, snoods, the whole kit and caboodle, and loads of videos and updates from John all the time. Make sure to check those out. Right, we're going to be back next Monday with another guest. Very quickly, a couple of questions. Sarah, I am not doing Panto this year because of the global bastard that we're in the middle of just now. But who knows? Fingers crossed something will come up soon. But all that matters is just look after yourself, and we will see you next Monday on Braw Beard. Now, here's the bet, which I know some people will bet whether or not I'll actually manage to do, and that's if I manage to actually play the video without looking at it. Can I do it? Who knows?